It's time to get in touch with your deep core transverse abdominal muscles. Now these are your corset muscles. As you breathe out, we're going to want to activate these muscles so they hug in and control your core pressure and give you a stable base to work from with what is going on with your hips and legs or what is going on with your upper body. Okay. So I have two different methods that I like to cue to get in touch with these muscles. We're just trying to get in touch with them with this exercise. We're not going to be trying to load them or anything, but you need to be able to feel when they're correctly activated, what that feels like, and what it feels like when you're cheating. So the first way that I like to activate them is thinking about having a zipper. So if you have a pair of tight jeans, we want to think about pulling your belly button in a little bit, but then as you pull up the zipper, we also try and lift our belly button up. So that is going to flatten those lower abdominals and come up. Now, on top of that, we're going to want to activate that top third of these deep core muscles. So we're also going to want to think about a little belt pulling those ribs in towards each other and tucking them down. So if you're doing the zipper, then we're going to want to have an extra little belt at the top. The other way that we can do it is to think of the 3 layers that we can activate. You can think about pulling your hip bones towards each other. Either side of your belly button, think about pulling those muscles towards each other. And then again, we've got that top belt where we're pulling in and tucking down just a little bit. So you can choose whichever way connects a little bit better into your brain, so you find that one is easier than the other. I don't mind, just do what works for you. So we're going to come on down into position. And I'm rolling down. I'm going to take up my top so you can see exactly what is happening here. All right, so we want to start by having a nice neutral set for our core and pelvic floor. So we're training that we're going to be strong with a nice neutral posture. So if I take my arm out of the way, and you can see, if I push my back into the floor, that's tucking my pelvis all the way under. If I go as far as I can the other way, then I have a sway back and my pelvis is dropping forwards. So we want to come down to your pelvis as neutral and then just take a little tuck. So I still have a little bit of room under my lower back for my fingers, but I'm not all the way down into the floor. So that little slight tuck of your pelvis, lifting your tailbone up and under, is going to make it easier to get control. Now, if you find that these ribs are shoving up into the air, and you're very much a sway back even though your pelvis is tucking under, it can be helpful to take a little towel roll or a cushion under your head, and that's going to help drop those ribs down and make it a little bit neutral. We're not going to always work with something under our head, but it can be helpful just while we're coming into contact, connecting with the right muscles, okay? It's going to help drop those ribs down. Pop that out of the way. There we go. So we're going to start with our zipper. So nice deep breath down into my sides and into my back, and this first breath I'm just going to relax and watch the line of my stomach. It's going to sink down. I'm not activating anything, just releasing all the muscles. This time as I breathe out, I'm going to think about pulling up on that zipper. So nice deep breath in. Breathing out, start by letting your stomach sink down, so we've released some of the pressure. And then I'm thinking about pulling that belly button up, and then I'm thinking about pulling those ribs in and down. So as you can see, I have a nice flat line across the top of my abdominals. And if I feel on the insides of my hip bones, right each side of my belly button and up by my ribs, I can feel that there is a nice tension there to all the muscles. And then as I breathe in, I can release. Breathing into my back and sides, let your stomach rise. Okay, so this time again, breathing out, pulling up on the zipper, bringing those ribs in and down, and then breathe in and release. Good. So if that is finding that it's not quite working for you, then we're going to go with those 3 belts. So this time we're thinking about pulling those hip bones together, working either side of the belly button, and then those ribs towards each other. So nice deep breath in. Breathing out, again, let that belly start to sink with your breath out. And then pull those hip bones in, pull the belly button in, pull the ribs in. So I'm even stronger with this cueing, it works better for me. And then next breath in. and release. Good. So, how to know if you are cheating. If you put your fingers on your hip bones, and then if I turn sideways, you can see we're going to come in about 2 centimeters and down 2 centimeters. So if you think about where you would have a C-section scar, it's down there on your lower belly. Now, as you breathe out, if you are starting to push pressure out and down, then you will find that those fingers, look, I'm cheating to it, there we go, they push up and your stomach will push up. So you really want to watch yourself in a mirror, or you can use your phone, that you can see what is happening with the line of the abdominals, and you can make sure that we're not pushing up. So I'm just sitting up so you can see what it looks like from this top position. Okay, here are my hip bones. I'm taking that nice deep breath into the sides and back. Breathing out, and I'm thinking about pulling those hip bones towards each other. Pulling either side of my belly button, pulling those ribs in. So you can see I have a little line down each side, and if I take my fingers up and down, there's tension under there. So if you think about with your bicep, if it's relaxed, it's squishy, little bit of tension, that's all we're looking for. We're not looking for when it pops out. Okay, if I overactivate, then that stomach comes up and forwards, that pressure comes out. So we want to make sure we're not getting any of that bread loaf roll up in the middle of your stomach. As you breathe out and activate, everything holds nice and flat.